Welcome back everybody, I'm John Gabby, your host, and today I'm going to react to a video called The Turbo History of Street Fighter 2 Hyper Fighting. Now for new updates and content you can visit the links in the description down below, and let's get started. Enjoy.
Hey there, my quarter-crunching, joystick-jamming legends. Today we're diving deep into a title that made your thumbs blister faster than you could shout Hadouken! Street Fighter 2 Turbo Hyper Fighting. If you've ever wondered why your coin purse felt suspiciously light in the early 90s, stick around as we unravel how a game not only swallowed quarters, but also spit out an entire subculture of competitive gaming that's as fierce today as an uppercut from Ryu on a bad hair day. Let's wind back the clock to the early 90s, where the Capcom crew, fueled by the success of the original Street Fighter 2, decided that gamers' thumbs weren't calloused enough. The idea was simple yet audacious. Make it faster, make it fiercer, and for the love of all that's arcade, make it more competitive. Enter Street Fighter 2 Turbo Hyper Fighting, a title that suggests someone at Capcom really liked adjectives. The lead maestro in this symphony of punches was none other than Akira Nishitani and Akira Yasuda. Nothing better than Akira squared. Two gentlemen who didn't push the envelope, they fed it a power-up. Nishitani, affectionately known as Nin to his peers, was a gameplay guru, a man whose understanding of balance and mechanics was so profound he could probably teach Newton a thing or two about gravity. Yasuda, on the other hand, was an art wizard, bringing characters to life with a flair that made every Hadouken look like a firework. Development was akin to tuning a race car while it's already on the track. The team cranked up the game speed, throwing in new moves and combos that turned previous strategies on their head. Why? Because the competitive scene was exploding, and Capcom knew the only thing better than watching two pixelated fighters duke it out was watching them do it at breakneck speed. Balancing these elements was a Herculean task, and it fell on the shoulders of planner and developer Noritaka Funamizu, who juggled frames, pixels, and players' feedback like a circus act. But here's where the magic, or madness, kicks in. Turbo wasn't just a sequel, it was a response to the arcade culture itself, which had turned the original game into a battlefield of wits and reflexes. The developers spent countless hours in arcades, watching, learning, and realizing that players were evolving. The game had to evolve too, and evolve it did. With each iteration tested in the fiery crucible of public arcades, feedback wasn't scribbled on comment cards but shouted over the din of coin drops in victory cheers. This wasn't just development, it was an ongoing dialogue with the most demanding audiences imaginable, the gamers themselves. Now as we leave the smoke-filled developers' dens of Capcom and step into the vibrant world they crafted, it's time to meet the illustrious lineup of Street Fighter 2 Turbo. This isn't just a game, it's a global martial arts tournament with a backstory thicker than Zangief's biceps and a cast more diverse than a United Nations luncheon. The story, in essence, is straightforward. 12 fighters from the far corners of the globe throw down in a no-holds-barred tournament to prove who's the supreme warrior. Sounds like a Tuesday at my in-laws, right? But beneath this simple premise lies a tapestry of personal sagas, each character driven not just by the desire to win, but by their personal quests, rivalries, and histories. Let's talk favorites. You've got Ryu, the wandering warrior from Japan, always looking for the next challenge, his story one of discipline, focus, and the eternal quest for self-improvement. Then there's Ken, the flashy American playboy with a heart of gold and fists to match, offering a perfect foil to Ryu's stoic demeanor. But the plot thickens with the likes of Chun-Li, the Interpol officer from China, who's not just kicking for the trophy, but to avenge her father's death. Each character's narrative adds a layer to the fights, transforming each match into a clash of destinies, not just fists. And who could forget the villains? M. Bison, the big bad with plans grander than his cape, heads the sinister Shadaloo organization, proving that behind every spinning kick, there's a darker twist. The brilliance of Street Fighter II Turbo lies not just in its gameplay, but in how it gives pixels purpose. Each character, from the electrically charged Blanca to the stoic and mysterious Dalsim, is more than just a set of moves. They're a story waiting to be told. These aren't just fighters, they're virtual avatars of human virtues and vices. Each beautifully animated frame, a brushstroke, and a larger portrait of heroism, ambition, and sometimes revenge. What Capcom did was revolutionary. They didn't just make characters fight, they made them matter. And in doing so, they ensured that players weren't just picking a character, they were picking a narrative, a side, a personal stake in an epic saga that continued in every match, in every arcade, in every corner of the world. Now let's crash into the gameplay mechanics of Street Fighter II Turbo, where the true art of digital fistcuffs takes center stage. Or should I say, arcade platform? This isn't just your garden variety punch fest. It's a sophisticated ballet of button mashing that's been turbocharged to keep your adrenal glands as engaged as your thumbs. Hyper fighting sped up the gameplay, a decision akin to feeding your fighter a double espresso. This meant faster punches, quicker kicks, and reflexes that needed to be sharper than Vega's claws. Each character not only retained their unique moves from previous editions, but also got some new tricks up their sleeves. Or gi, or whatever M. Bison wears. For instance, Ryu and Ken, the poster boys of projectile pain, could now hurl their Hadoukens with less warning than a sneeze, while Chun-Li's spinning bird kick could now truly make heads spin, both figuratively and literally. This increase in speed didn't just change how you played, it changed how you thought. Your strategy had to be as quick as your character's moves, making every duel not just a test of skill, but a high-octane chess match at 60 FPS. And just when you thought you had a moment to breathe, let me sneak in this quick little jab. Now back to the mechanical mastery. Hyper fighting also introduced a more balanced fighting roster. Remember the old days when some characters felt like they were carrying lead boots? Well, Capcom decided to even the playing field, tweaking hitboxes and damage outputs, making every character a viable choice for both casual scrappers and arcade aficionados. The real genius in hyper fighting, though, was how it managed to introduce these changes without alienating its core audience. Veterans could still feel at home, their muscle memory still relevant, while newcomers didn't feel like they were thrown into a digital meat grinder. Well, not immediately at first. In essence, Street Fighter II Turbo Hyper Fighting wasn't just another sequel. It was an evolution, a response to the community feedback and competitive dynamics. It took the raw, compelling gameplay of the original and injected just enough nitrous to make it a new beast. One that demanded respect, quick reflexes, and maybe a little bit of luck. So after dissecting the turbocharged tactics and lightning-fast fisticuffs, it's high time we turn our attention to the heavyweight impact of Street Fighter II Turbo on both the marketplace and the burgeoning world of gaming culture. When it comes to the numbers, hyper fighting was more than just impressive. It was a financial uppercut to the industry. Released in a time when arcades were the battlegrounds of gaming, this title not only rejuvenated arcade environments, but also sucked quarters from players' pockets faster than you could say, Shoryuken! It wasn't just about selling units, it was about keeping those arcade machines perpetually busy, glowing like beacons for all the competitive souls out there. But the ripple effect didn't stop at the arcade doors. The success of hyper fighting propelled the sales of home console versions, making it a staple in living rooms around the globe. It turned the Street Fighter series from a hit into a legend, one that parents would come to curse as they tripped over joysticks during late-night sneak sessions by their kids. Culturally, the impact was like a Hadouken to the chest. It catalyzed the growth of competitive gaming, turning casual matches into serious competitions. We're talking tournaments that filled auditoriums with spectators chanting the names of their pixelated champions. This game didn't just bridge worlds, it built an entirely new one where gamers could be athletes, strategists, and celebrities rolled all into one. The title also fostered a community that transcends borders. Players from USA, Japan, and beyond shared strategies in the pre-internet age through magazines and VHS tapes. Believe it or not, hyper fighting created a universal language of combos and counterattacks, where a well-timed block or a surprise move could earn you nods of respect from around the world. Now diving into the hidden corners and lesser-known quirks of Street Fighter II Turbo, this game isn't just a battleground. It's a treasure chest of fascinating details and surprises that even the most seasoned fans might not fully know. Firstly, let's bust a myth that's been floating around since the early 90s. There is no Red Hadouken. The legend of a special move that weren't in the official guides did lead many to try out button combinations akin to modern-day conspiracy theories. While players experimented with moves, the game's secrets were more about mastering the nuances of existing moves rather than unlocking non-existent ones. One of the most iconic elements of Street Fighter II Turbo is the car bonus stage. Ever wonder why pounding a parked car into scrap metal was a part of a fighting tournament? This whimsical challenge was inspired by a scene from the 1976 Japanese movie Karate Baka Ichidai. The inclusion of this stage provided a humorous respite from the intense one-on-one battles, allowing players to unleash their fury on an inanimate object, which quickly became a beloved part of the Street Fighter experience. Another enduring piece of Street Fighter lore involves the mythical fighter Shang Long. Stemming from a mistranslation of Ryu's victory quote, a rumor of Shang Long was perpetuated by an April Fool's joke in Electronic Gaming Monthly, which claimed he could be unlocked. This led to widespread speculation and countless hours spent by players trying to defeat him, showcasing the power of community-driven myths in the early days of gaming culture. The stages of Street Fighter II Turbo also offer a tour of the world, from the bustling markets of Chun-Li's China to the military base of Guile in the USA, complete with background characters and thematic music. While these depictions are stylized and not deeply educational, they do provide a colorful backdrop that adds to the global flavor of the tournament, making each location memorable and distinct. And there you have it, folks, your full-throttle, no-holds-barred tour through the pixelated battlegrounds of Street Fighter II Turbo Hyper Fighting. From fist-flying speeds that tested the mettle of arcade warriors to cultural shockwaves that still echo in gaming halls today, we've karate chopped our way through the digital dojo of trivia, tales, and turbocharged tournaments.
So that was the turbo history of Street Fighter II Hyper Fighting. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm very impressed with this video, and I cannot believe the enormous impact that this game made on the public. Seriously, tournaments and the hyper fighting combos that was added and the bonus stage for smashing that car. I guess you could say that inspired Acclaims to bring their version into their game for Mortal Kombat Test Your Might. And I think I'm correct. Capcom wanting to make the characters matter is brilliant. I mean, having a backstory and so forth, it is fantastic. I've never ever played the games before, but my favorite characters of all time are Ryu, Chun-Li, Blanca, Ken, and Vega. And a word of wisdom for today: fight with all your might. Have a blessed day further, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.